Yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay. Great. That's still working. Okay. So to review, okay. In Westamar, you're basically looking at the high nobles and then the rest of the nobility itself.
Oh, this
So
road is
you
so
just
narrow.
met with Verona von Baden, who is the daughter of Valentin von Baden, who is
Almost
the Duke
like
of
being in
Durand,
England.
right? Then from there, you have Duke Malkador Engelhart, and he is the Duke of Altbrook over here. Okay. And then Helberg is ruled by Agnes von Helberg, fittingly, the von Helbergs. And then there's Sophia von Sneestrom of Healing, which is actually off this map here. It's a little bit, it's north of Tonsberg. And then there is Ursula von Sindau of Geldstadt. And then there's Ludwig von Fritz of Todsfeld. So those are the 6 major dukes.
What about Luchten?
Leuthen, okay. Leuthen and Kesselholm are special, okay? Traditionally speaking,
Someone hits
Kesselholm
that
is
car's
ruled directly by
mirror.
House von Kessel. And it was and it is still kept as the private estate of the von Kessels, right? And Leuthen, Leuthen is a fortress city.
Sure enough.
It is considered to be one of the most strategically important locations in Westamar. And currently Leuthen is ruled by a baron, not a duke, because the Leuthen, as a fortress city, it is generally given an appointed command. Usually, so the last ruler of Leuthen was actually your aunt. Because traditionally what happens is a monarch gives one of their siblings custodianship over Leuthen, and if you have more than one sibling, basically one sibling gets Kesselholm, one sibling gets Leuthen, well, the monarch rules from Drakenheim, right? So essentially, if you have a relative, a close relative who you want to keep in line, but away from the capital, you send them to Leuthen. And if you have, or to Kesselholm, essentially.
Cool.
Right? So,
Who's Altbrook again?
Altbrook is Malkador Engelhart.
We're probably not on great terms with Todsfeld. And I believe Helberg, we had to avoid Helberg, didn't we? We went to Altbrook because, or was it the opposite? We were not welcome in one of those places.
You went, when you were going for the negotiations, you went to Geldstadt, and because Leuthen is currently controlled by Baron Boris the Bold, who was the direct military lieutenant of Cecilia von Kessel, who was again Wilhelm's aunt, who fought against Wilhelm's father. So Leuthen isn't ruled by a duke, but Boris the Bold has already allied himself with the Illyrians and allowed the Illyrians to pass into Westamar. Normally, an invading army would have to fight their way through Leuthen because of its strategic position. But Baron Boris the Bold basically acquiesced to the Illyrians because
driving on
he hates you.
Red.
Good. Oh, this is charming, isn't it?
Then again, the taxi also went on red, so...
Well...
And there are many other barons. So there's both barons and counts. So most of the larger cities and counties, like, if you think about it like this, Westamar is divided up into several large provinces, basically geographically kind of based around each of the major cities. And then each of those provinces have their own counties, and then each of the counties have their own baronies. So it kind of goes the monarch, dukes and duchesses, counts and countesses, followed by the barons, and then there's the smaller landed nobles, and then petty nobles, who are people that have minor titles but no actual land. And if you're a noble and you don't have land, are you really a noble? No.
So, Pluto, you wanted to go hunt minotaurs right now?
Okay. Maybe. Look, I know a lot has been put on your plate, and you're gonna feel a sense of urgency. However, as king, I believe delegation and time management are gonna be focuses, and we will help you with that, because we want what's best for Drakenheim. I believe our focus should continue on the hunt. By the way, I was given some news. Here's a letter that Theo, your dad, gave me. The High King from Caspian is going to be the neutral judge, so she's obviously trying to pull something.
Be not so neutral? Is that what's happening here?
I think that's not good, because
She wants House Jackson to lose the Kingsmoot.
and so there's
But winning this duel wouldn't win you the Kingsmoot.
No, whether or not whether or not we win the duel, House Jackson still has claim to the killing of Biggest Linda.
it's not about the Kingsmoot, because she just, I feel like she's up to something, and
I thought she said she wasn't going to interfere with anything to do with Drakenheim.
yeah, this is her way in, so we have to be strategic.
One of the challenges for the next Kingsmoot is actually the house with the strongest foreign alliance. So that might be what she's trying to disrupt.
Oh, my dad would know
Right.
more about that, but
Because if I become king and I'm allied with House Jackson, that's going to be the strongest foreign alliance.
but if the Joplin have the security of Drakenheim, like
Yeah.
maybe she uses it as leverage. Yeah, she'll allow us to win the
Speedy
duel.
alliance.
House Joplin is a very powerful house to have as allies.
But not as powerful as, look, you're missing the point. Like, I just need you to focus on the
They've had the strongest military for 3 decades.
Hey, that's it's arguable. Like, it's really washy.
They
Like,
did
have you-
walk out on us.
Yeah, and they did skip leg day a lot. So, like, you're talking to, look at these calves, okay? Look
You
at these
can't-
calves.
I see your
Bigger than your
calves. Yes.
Bigger than your head, okay?
Yep.
Look at these things.
Makes
Wow.
it a good foundation for a good
Yeah, and
foreign
those-
relationship.
Okay, your calves make a valid point for House Jackson.
That's what I needed to hear. I think there is an opportunity to squash some beef and make up some of these I don't know, missteps with the other dukes, but it may be best to focus on it on day 6, because
We still need to secure our leverage for the deal with Illyria, save Sebastian Crow, and prove ourselves worthy in the eyes of Illyria. Once we've done that, then we can discuss the matter with the other dukes of Westmar.
well, like over these next 2 days, like, we can figure out our plan. Then before we go off and start meeting these people,
Sure
I
enough.
think, yeah, we finish the fight, and then we decide who we should, or I mean, my king, I don't mean to step over things, but yeah, who do you think you would want to try to rein in first.
I mean, Transmund and the Von Badens are the most powerful family in Westamar. Having them say that they're on my side is already really valuable. I'm wondering if there's value. We are to meet House Joplin, Venus herself as a judge. She's called for the arrangements to be in, why am I drawing a blank here? Liberia. Is it worth bringing all parties to neutral grounds, or does that seem ill-advised to bring the Dukes of Westamar to Liberia and ask them to meet us there, where we can discuss with Illyria and Caspia present on the matters at
Should
hand,
not have taken this route.
so that we can just all have an open discussion?
Or at least no one in Westamar.
Probably not likely that they would all go to a foreign place, like that they would all leave the nation.
Why is that Tesla driving in the middle of the road?
You probably want to ask, if you're wondering about who to ask about this, you'd probably want to talk to either Elias or to Eric about the logistics of actually calling them together.
Elias, Eric.
Your king summons you.
I understand that there's been Elias Drexel and Eric von Mullenberg enter, and Eric says, I understand that there's been some revelations with our guest.
Apparently I've been too busy focusing on the tasks at hand currently that it did not come to my attention that I needed to meet with the Dukes of Westamar. Again, I'm quite new at this kingly business, and I just thought that I was doing right by the people. It seems that I have made enemies along the way.
Very neglectful of his duties.
Not purposely.
Not purposefully.
Elias sighs, and there's a visible look of consternation. The nobles have been a thorn in my side. Now, all of a sudden, they wouldn't come together to help us reclaim Drakenheim. But as soon as there's actually a prize, that's when they all start coming out of the woodwork looking for their piece. All of them are going to be making demands of you. It's no surprise. They're going to be asking things left, right, and center of you. And they're going to want affordances made to them. They're going to want concessions. They're going to want your favor. They're going to want all sorts of things of you. And we haven't even truly secured your power yet. Personally, I think that the best thing would be to blow them off and show them the edge of our swords. If they don't want to fall in line, then we'll destroy them. We'll crush them.
Elias.
Yeah.
Rule number 69, what you give, you too shall receive. And I think it's important that we approach this with the idea that we don't want to destroy people. We're trying to avoid war. We need to give in order to receive.
We are giving them a new king. They should be pleased with that. I have been giving so much. Look at all the soldiers of the Hooded Lanterns who have fought and bled and died to try to rebuild. Haven't we given them enough? And now they come looking for handouts and concessions? It's disgusting, frankly.
Elias, rule number 98, no matter the situation, never lose your cool. And rule number 99, whenever given a difficult choice, the option that helps the most people is the correct choice. We do not need another civil war. We've had enough war, and if we are not careful in the decisions we are about to make, We could end up with another 10 years of civil war over who is going to rule Drakenheim, and I'm sure you've seen enough of that.
You're right. I admit this is beyond my expertise. I am not a politician. I'm a soldier. And in war, all I can see is who are our allies and who are our enemies. That's the way I look at things. And as far as I'm concerned, if they're not willing to fight alongside us, then they're either useless bystanders or enemies.
There are ways that we can persuade them. We don't have to use force, but we can show the forces that we have. If we ally with the Von Badens first, if we show the strength that we have by having allies in Illyria, Caspia, the Hooded Lanterns, the Steel Fangs, and I might have a few other people I'm going to talk to
I would
about
call that
calling in
reckless
some
driving by
favors.
that guy in the
Perhaps that's
electric
enough
thingy.
to persuade some of the people who might be less interested to join us, knowing the strength that we have. I don't want to go marching onto their doorstep with an army, but I would show them potentially the power that could be had in Westamar if they join us.
Yeah, that sounds great. You could really start to rein in some of those that don't see your claim as real.
You want to feed them the carrot? Or no, not the stick, okay? Carrots first, and we'll see who we rein in.
Duke von Fritz will not answer to me if I go approach him to have a conversation. But if we talk to the Von Badens
Sometimes-
first, get
Sometimes
Verona
roundabouts are
and her
really
fleet.
crap when it's
Get
filled up with cars like
Pluto's
this.
father and maybe a few Caspian knights,
So
Veosenya,
luckily I
Elias,
don't need to
several
pick up my
hooded
daughter at
lanterns.
school today.
Rickard Steelfang and his mercenaries, Rudy, Wrath, Sebastian, Eldrick, River, and march
Yeah,
up
you
to
still have
Todsfell.
some coffee.
Perhaps elicit to a
Oh,
fight.
that was cold.
Perhaps that decrepit old miser will fall is ultimately has self-preservation at heart. He won't move against you if he thinks that you're powerful and strong.
Let's just kjøre han først.
And you may
That's what
just
we'll
have
have
to
to do.
not ask him, but you might have to tell him. You might have to be ready to do it.
I
Danish
hate what's
car.
happening right now. It's
So that's why he was
wasn't
allowed
my
to
intention
drive.
to.
Is it your fingernails? Or does he
That
have it?
too. I really want them to grow back, and I'm missing 3 teeth now. I'm starting to look a little like Duke von Fritz. No, I won't go that far. But no, Pluto, I would be lying if I said I didn't miss living in a
Of
barn
course,
in
now I could
Tierhaven
have driven
and dealing with
fudge.
ducks.
Now he's gonna push up.
It's much more quaint
Oh, come
a
on.
situation to be in, and
Ooh, a truck filled with
I
wine.
took care of
Yes,
the people
please.
around me, and they took care of me. I thought I could do
Original.
good stepping into this role. I thought I could do good by my people,
Huh.
but
No, you are. That's the thing. You're, you know, it would be such a shame if you were just, you slept in a barn? What?
Well, I'm just
yeah,
gonna have to
for
force
years I
myself
lived in a
in.
barn. It was
Yes,
great.
You couldn't afford it. You couldn't just ask to sleep in something. Look, it's like,
I enjoyed the
which
barn. It
I
was
didn't
my
see
own
her.
place. I didn't want to sleep in the house with 10 children, and it was not a big house. The barn
I'll
had a lot
sleep.
more room.
I'll sleep in here
Some
then.
people
You
are
can sleep in,
friendly at least.
Look, the point is that you're on the right track, and you are going to face opposition, like Veo said.
Yay.
You're not gonna face everyone.
Less traffic
But you
for a
don't
few
have to focus on the majority,
meters
and I
at
think
least.
The big thing that I take away from your visitor is we haven't been listening to the people. We've listened to each other, we've listened to the High Nobles, we've listened to our powerful allies. We haven't really listened to the people. So maybe we need to slow down, take a step back, figure out what do we have what's, are we Dragonheim?
I guess a lot of people are leaving to the cabins and stuff today since it's so much traffic.
I'm so much podcast. That is my home, and I do admire this place. It has been quite the challenge. I've come to really enjoy my time here, and I hope one day my nephew will stand beneath you, but he needs to look up to you and he needs to see a struggle.
Eric speaks up and says, "If I may, there are many pieces moving, my king. There is the matter of the nobility here. There's the Illyrians. There's also the matter of, well, Sebastian Crow, what Wrath and your other friend Rudy Whitaker were sent off to do, and just to get, because all of this could be for moot if we can't get all of the seals of Dragonheim back together again and actually crown you properly as our king. All of those, we can't neglect those pieces either. And then there's the matter of Lucretia Matthias too.
But does
Come
crowning
on, you
you
stupid
king
car.
without
Oh my god.
the blessing of
The AI of the car is not really that smart.
cause more problems?
It does, but it also gives us a very powerful bargaining chip. If you're actually wearing the crown of Westamar, you have the power of the throne literally behind you. And that's a pretty indisputable asset to have.
Maybe it comes down to those who won't support you without it. We get the crown and, well,
But if we had all the pieces in place to crown you, well, a coronation would be an ideal opportunity to call all the dukes.
To Castle Draken?
Perhaps not to Castle Draken, but somewhere else, part of the profession. Perhaps arrange some sort of ceremonial event, get them to swear their oaths of fealty again, secure their vassalage, and, as I will say, at the very least, if those are renewed, then we can actually start getting some income and levies from them. And that would be useful for the times ahead. It does bring back the what to do about Lucretia Matthias, too.
Well, the problem is that we sent our friends to go retrieve a relic that we were going to possibly trade to Lucretia Matthias in exchange for one of the seals of Drakenheim, but it seems she's gotten word that my alliance with Illyria is not forthcoming to her ideals of her new religion. And so, she might be reluctant to part with the seal of Drakenheim after all.
We'll have to see what happens when it comes down to that. Hopefully, Sebastian and Wrath and Veo, Sebastian, Wrath, and Rudy have succeeded in their mission and at least gotten the other bargaining chip back. If they do have the one of the other relics of St. Petruvio to trade back, then maybe Lucretia Matthias will keep her word and then take the conflict from there.
Little
I
traffic.
have
Scouting, right? They're just going on a scouting mission.
I think they were just going on a
they
scouting
were just gonna
mission.
check things out. We'll probably go in and like deal with it.
I have full faith that our stealthy team has some good intel and has stayed out of trouble.
Very well then. Perhaps we should just bring Lucretia Matthias in, hand her over to the Silver Order. That alone would at least get them off our backs.
Could be what we need to do, at least to stay the signing of an agreement that isn't in our favor.
They have every reason to ally with us because we want to destroy the Delirium Heart, just as they want to destroy the Delirium Heart.
They want so much more than just destroying Delirium.
I
You should
know.
that.
But at the core of it all, that's their main goal, and so that is more than enough to form an alliance because our goals are the same. Now, in terms of owing them, perhaps instead of owing them, if our nation hands over Lucretia Matthias, what sort of ransom can we ask for delivering such a high-profile target? Perhaps the money that they would want owed could instead be payment for securing their number one problem.
Eric says, I'm not sure that Lucretia Matthias is worth a lot, but I'm not sure the Illyrians would necessarily pay that much for her.
Well, it was a thought.
A good one, nonetheless. So what's your next move?
Finish this duel.
We gotta
Alright.
think of something bigger to kill. We've got to reach out to some of these dukes. Ones we like, ones that don't like us, or at least Wilhelm. Yeah. You really divide a room. Some people love you. You save their life and stuff, and then some people just want to murder you.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
The only place you're gonna find anything bigger than Big Linda is either in the castle or the crater.
And the castle could be a great opportunity to visit an old family member. We have an inn there, and it could be a way to also just do some house cleaning before you take it over. What do you say, Wilhelm?
I need 2 days.
As you said, more teeth.
Yeah. Give me 2 days to prepare. And by prepare, I mean grow my fingernails and teeth and toenails back.
Mm-hmm.
And I will be right as rain to go venturing into the terrible, terrible depths of that city.
We long rested.
I think you guys are going to be taking up all your things. I think with that as well, Wilhelm, I think it's time for you to gain a level. What do you... level Wilhelm up to level 12?
Yeah.
Well, Aaron.
I already did. And I took Resilient Constitution, because at level 12, rogues get another feat or ability score increase. I took Resilient Constitution mainly because here's my through line. After getting contaminated yet again and surviving, and an assassination attempt while contaminated and surviving, Wilhelm has toughened up a bit. He's grown more resistant to the things going on. So not only is my con save much better, but also my hit points are now 87, which is substantially better than they were before. So just need to patch that up and make Wilhelm a little more survivable. And so shoring up those constitution saves and my hit points sounded like the best idea.
Well, I think in that respect, perhaps you've lost significantly less fingernails from this round of contamination. And over your next couple rests up, you also are able to avail yourselves of the services of the apothecaries who cast Purge Contamination on all of you. And it is a very unpleasant evening for the lot of you getting your contamination purged. Don't need to go into the gory details, but it's it's not pretty coming out. And with that, I think that we shall leave it there for this evening. But I wonder, maybe let's have some high-level conversation here. Should we perhaps come back to Sebastian, Rudy, and Wrath next week, or should we continue with these three? What do you three think? What do you feel like we gotta? What do you think?
I do think that we could switch over to the other party. What do you guys think?
Finish the duel and then move over, or we could just go straight over.
I'm trying to remember where we last left our here.
They're still in Liberio. They haven't come back yet. So we could have them come back and
just to have to go all the way back to Liberio. I guess I don't know. But
or we can finish the duel next week. What do you think?
We'll talk this week.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I don't feel ready to make that decision. I feel like discussion needs to happen, and I could talk about it for hours.
Alrighty. Yep. Well, in that case, I think that this is a good place to end things off for this evening.
That's good.
And with that, a big thank you to all three of you, Jill, Kelly, and Joe, for playing tonight.
And a huge thank you to Kyle for all the wonderful things he does behind the scenes. Thank you, Kyle. You're amazing. You're handsome. And I love you, Kyle. Also, a huge thank you to Monty Martin, our dungeon master, for stressing me the heck out with his political intrigue. And who thought it was a good idea to play a character that was going to be king? I don't know. No, but it's so many curveballs that actually I love the drama that's happening. So thank you so much for just piling the drama on, and we'll see how it all goes as I fumble through political decisions.
Indeed.
I love it. Amazing. And as always on our game tonight, we are using a variety of incredible assets produced by talented artists. You can use them in your home games too. They've graciously given us permission to use them in our stream games, and we encourage you to go out and support some of these amazing creators. Tonight, the big feature was Roll20
19 Celsius
with the to share the maps,
warm.
but most importantly, tabletop audio. So please go and check it out.
Don't forget to look at the links below for our Teespring story to find all of your favorite Dungeon Dude shirts. Shout out to Drakenheim, yes, Troll Killer. Check out bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
Our videos and live streams are made possible because we have an amazing Patreon community. If you enjoy the work that we do on YouTube, Twitch, and elsewhere, please consider becoming a supporter of our show by checking us out at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes or in the links below.
We also have a phenomenal Discord community that is exclusive for our patrons. So join us on Discord to chat with us about the current Kickstarter that's happening, as well as all things Drakenheim, all things D&D, and you can just chat with us. You can chat with me specifically about the mess that I find myself in with my character. And yeah, I'll be in there all week being like, what do? And so come join our Discord and just chat with us about anything you feel like.
Kelly and I also post new videos every other Tuesday and every Thursday on our YouTube channel. Check us out at youtube.com/DungeonDudes.
And be sure to join us live next Tuesday when we record the campaign live on Twitch. Check us out from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. Don't forget to check the video episodes of the show on YouTube, or check us out as an audio-only podcast as well.
Thank you all so